Hey, so this is something I came across while I was scrolling on the interwebs. Posted on Instagram. The account was Lessons Taught by Life, and this is certainly a perspective to have. I'm not knocking it or anything, and for the people who feel this way, it certainly rings true. At one time, it would have rang as true for me. Everybody loves when you let everything slide. That's true for sure. But as soon as you start checking and creating boundaries, you become the most hated. Where I'm challenged within myself before I adopt this perspective is believing myself to be hated. It automatically sets me up to be defensive when I come in contact to people. It puts me almost in a state without any power. It puts me in a space where I'm having to gain ground for not even love, but acceptance, to believe myself is hated by anyone. In order to have that thought, I would have to perceive at first that there's something hateful within me, and I don't. Uh, so when we, when I used to find myself in positions where I'm thinking somebody's thinking something negative about me, often it was probably either something I was insecure about or something I was already aware of in myself and just really hadn't managed and was just kind of hoping the other person didn't notice. So that would be where I kind of have to get off the train with that. When we introduce new boundaries into relationships, it's a learning curve for the person on the other side. If it was someone who was used to me getting up, and if somebody came over to my house and they were always used to me getting up and catering and waiting on them, the first couple times I asked them, like, nah, get it yourself. They word. And they may ask, and rightfully so, not in an objective way, but it's a new behavior. Um, someone, somebody who would internalize that might think that I'm doing it something against them, when really it's just a boundary for myself. Sometimes, nobody's really owed an explanation for that, depending on who it is, where they fall within my circle. I might say, hey, well, yeah, I'm trying some new boundaries out. I wanted to see how that feel. You good? If the relationship is worth it to me, and if it's just somebody, then they'll learn to figure it out like I'm learning to figure it out. I don't need to explain anything to people. Our boundaries are our own. But where the idea of perceiving myself as the most hated because of a boundary, I mean, certainly some people may object, but that doesn't mean that I'm hated. Don't need to bring emotions where they don't need to be involved. Hate is an emotion and it's not really valid. So if you're someone who's created a new boundary and there's some resistance in the people that you've been around, I'm not saying that you got to let go of your boundary, but just understand that every action is a reaction, and we don't need to automatically interpret people's reactions to our boundaries, things we say, things we do, especially in the name of ourselves, negatively. It's a positive thing that we're doing. So maybe we can move with the belief that the other person would interpret it positively. If we perceive it as something negative, then that's energy that we're introducing into the situation. I'm introducing it into the situation because I'm believing it's going to be a problem before their space. I'm bringing the problem with me. So, yeah, boundaries are great, but we don't have to believe we're hated for them. Setting new boundaries is an act of love. So we're creating an environment within ourselves to foster more love that we can share with the world. And we can do that with the belief that other people are perceiving it as such as well. That keeps us in the power seat. Okay. So this little PS video has taken more takes than everything that came before it. What I want to say is, please give this account, Lessons Taught by Life, a look and maybe a follow on Instagram because that is their quote. I only gave my perspective on it. If you're curious about other things I have to say, not say, but have written, you might want to be curious and look at my other website, innermestories.com. I encourage you to love other people as I hope you love yourself with truth, forgiveness, mercy, and kindness, and maybe we'll make this world better one self at a time. Peace.